Hi, my name is Andrea, and welcome back if you joined in last time, and thanks for dropping by if this is your first time to the site. I really enjoy watching The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogies. I was on my own on Friday night and decided to rewatch the first in the Hobbit trilogy, An Unexpected Journey. Early on in the movie, the Hobbit, Bilbo Baggins, is asked to join a committed band of dwarves on a journey. It's an unexpected journey for Bilbo, as he's quite content with his life surrounded by his books and belongings and friends. Understandably, he's filled with apprehension and dread when asked by Gandalf the Grey to join the dwarves. Confronted with this invitation, he is seeking assurances and certainties and asks Gandalf, "Can you promise I'll return?" Gandalf pauses and then leans in and looks intently at his friend. And he replies, "No, but if you do, you'll never be the same." How well do you deal with uncertainty? Recently, my husband Dave and I have been talking about the issue of uncertainty and the impact on our lives. It's an important question. So when I was thinking about what to talk about in this session, Dave said, "Why don't you talk about dealing with uncertainty?" And I said, "Great idea. Thanks, Dave." So welcome to session 3. It doesn't take much reminding these days to know we are all faced with uncertainty on many fronts. There's stuff like, can I trust what my political leaders and healthcare experts are telling me? Is the economy going to rebound? Will there ever be a cure for cancer? And then there's the closer to home stuff, like how am I going to navigate my kids returning to school? Are my test results going to come back positive? Am I going to be able to pay for groceries this week? Hey, I'm with you. Some of this stuff can send my thoughts racing, leave me trying to figure it all out, and on occasion keep me awake at night. Here are some things I want us to consider when thinking about uncertainty. Number 1, uncertainty is a part of life. Worrying isn't the same as problem solving. And is it possible to accept uncertainty? Number 1, uncertainty is a part of life. Maybe you've heard this before. If not, I guess I'm the one to break it to you. The reality is you'll never be able to have all your questions answered ahead of time. You can never plan effectively for every situation and circumstance. Now, some of you may find yourselves breathing a sigh of relief, like, "Whew, you mean I don't have to have it all figured out? That's good news." Others may say, "What? Great, one more thing to worry about." So if life is uncertain, what do you do with that? Let's consider some options. On one end of the continuum, you have the choose to do nothing option. I mean, literally do nothing. Try to live life safely, never step out or experience new things, only do what is familiar and comfortable. On the other end of the continuum, you have the try to predict every outcome option. This might include trying to control or manipulate circumstances or those around you so you can make sense of it all. Neither of these options is right or wrong, but they do tend to generate feelings of fear, anxiety, frustration, and disappointment. And isn't that what you're trying to avoid in the first place? Other options are somewhere in the middle, like planning for what you can, being okay to accept there are some things you can't control, learning to live your life in the midst of uncertainty, and gaining some perspective about a situation. I'm reminded of the Serenity Prayer. You may know it. It goes, "God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." Number 2, worrying isn't the same as problem solving. I once heard it said that the act of worrying is like sitting in a rocking chair. You spend a lot of energy, but you don't get anywhere. In other words, a lot of action with no traction. Do you ever feel that way? Worrying is exhausting. Worrying may start out sounding like a good idea, but it usually ends up creating more problems than you started with. It can rob you of your time, your peace of mind, your health and well-being, and it can zap the joy out of living. It can often lead to feelings of anxiety. This can lead to behaviors like avoidance or procrastination and leave you feeling stressed and stuck. See what I mean? In some cases, when the situation is solvable, problem solving may be the thing to do. Problem solving can be broken down into 5 steps. Number 1, identifying the problem. Number 2, brainstorming solutions. Number 3, choosing a solution. Number 4, trying the solution, what I call the Nike effect, just do it. And number 5, if it doesn't work, be prepared to try another solution. Problem solving is a skill, which means you can practice and get better at it. Hey, that's good news. But what do you do when you're faced with a situation you can't solve? Number 3, accepting uncertainty. This can be the first step in dealing with uncertainty. Acceptance isn't about pretending something doesn't exist. That's called denial and a whole other issue. Acceptance isn't necessarily about approving or agreeing with something. It's about seeing something for what it is, not holding on to any false beliefs or expectations, and dealing with the realities of a situation. Some of you may have heard of the term radical acceptance. It's a concept talked about in DBT. Simply put, all of us at some point will experience uncomfortable, distressing situations and the pain that goes along with it. When you choose to accept your situation, it means you will experience the pain, but you're in a better place to move through it and get to the other side. When you choose to not accept your situation, you still experience the pain, but you also prolong your suffering. The takeaway message, to accept or not to accept, is a choice. It can be challenging to stand firm in the face of uncertainty. It's something I'm still learning to do every day. Let's go back to Bilbo for a moment. When I heard the way Gandalf answered Bilbo's question, it got me thinking. I wondered if I could say the same of the uncertainties I face in my own life. Could the uncertainties I face be providing me with an unexpected journey? Could they take my life in a different direction? And the promise, could I too be different after being on my journey? Do I really want to change? Remember, life is full of challenges, and challenges and uncertainties can bring about the opportunity for change. Hey, we can face the changes together and learn to live life well. Thanks for watching. See you next time.